Hello, everyone, and welcome back to sessions with me on ACCA, and today we will be talking about something which again is one of the most common questions that comes to me is what are the opportunities that are there post ACCA or while doing ACCA. So I thought that why not through our platform where we do have lots of students who would like to get their career sorted, who would like to understand what is it that they should be doing in the near future. I thought that through our platform today we should be able to help you with that. So for people who don't know me, my name is Zaheer, and to know me in detail, there is a separate video that you can go to. So please have a look at what my bio is. But coming back to the topic today, as to what are the job opportunities after ACCA and maybe while doing ACCA as well, because let's face it, at the end of the day, we all do these courses, whether CA, whether ACCA, whether CFA or a CPA or a CMA, all these courses, right? The idea behind doing these courses is so that we can actually get a good career opportunity ahead of us. We all want to make sure that we do well, we settle well, right? Of course, settling, could be defined differently for different people, but I feel that as long as you are moving in your career, you are making a decent amounts of money, I feel you're doing fine in your career. So I think as far as, let's start with, say, what is it that you can do after doing ACCA, and maybe from there itself, if there is something that you can do after ACCA, there are certain jobs that you can pick up even while doing ACCA, even while you are an undergrad, right? So let's start with one of the first things that you can do as an ACCA is that you can actually go for audits. Now, when I say audits, straight away people think of statutory audits and audits where you'll have to really put in a lot of hours and it's crazy timelines, etc. By the way, I'm never ever anti any job. I think all the jobs have their own flavors. In fact, I started my post qualification career as a statutory auditor at Ernst and Young, right? So, and that gave me amazing experience, amazing learnings. So I can never ever take that away from me. In fact, I'm usually quoting that as one of the jobs that I enjoyed the most because I learned so much from there. So statutory audits, are of course and whatever you learn in your ACCA syllabus as well, or your audit, for that matter, you would see that it's a job wherein you will visit a client and you will do all the kinds of validation, you will do scheduling, etc., bank recos, etc. So statutory audits is something that you can do. This is something to do with regulatory requirement as well. Now, along with stat audits, which a lot of students do not know, there is also something called as internal audits. Now, internal audits can be in varied forms because whatever is stat audit. Everything apart from that becomes an internal audit, or special audit, or a value for money audit, or whatever those names are there. But these are all your advisory audits. So there is an assurance, which is your stat audits, and then there is advisory audits, which will have all of these things, right? So these internal audits can be at your employer's place itself. A lot of larger organizations, like one of the previous organizations where I was working for, WNS and UBS and all the other organizations I've worked with, they've all had their internal audit departments, right? Who will do exactly what a stat audit would do, but they are internal. And again, I don't want to get into detail of what external audit and internal audit is, but I hope you get the point, right? So those jobs are also available in the market. You can look for them. And so people who are like always threatened with crazy deadlines and 16 hours of work, etc., internal audits can be a very good option. You can try for that as well. And as I said, the skill set requirement is going to be the same. Say if you are an ACCA, the requirement is more than enough. Whatever they look for you, your ACCA should be able to give you those skills, right? So audits is one of the first jobs that you can really do, right? The second that you can actually take up is accounting, right? A lot of people don't take that as a career, or at least I have not really heard of students talking about, oh, I want to get into accounts, right? People want the cushy job straight away, that I want to do reporting, and I want to do management accounting, and I want to do the finalization, or I want to be a stat auditor. No one really talks about that I want to get into accounting, right? Now accounting, try and understand, that's the base of everything that we do in finance and accounting, right? Without you knowing which item goes where, what is recorded when you've sold something, what is recorded when you bought something, how the provisions are made, how the returns are filed, etc. So those basics, if those basics are not clear, anyways, if you start to get into stat audits, etc., your basics will not be there. So therefore I feel that if you can do an accounting role, right? Now, how do you develop yourself in accounting role? Because when I say accounting role, people straight away think, oh, it's a bookkeeping role, right? Now, yes, bookkeeping role could be very straightforward, but believe you me, a lot of bookkeepers of today will become a CFO down the line, right? Because you have to have the knowledge. So if I were able to do well, at least I think I were able to do well in my past jobs and in my current role as well, is because I was exposed to accounting at a very early stage on, right? I knew exactly how the books were maintained, what the CA would come and ask for. So all those things, if you are able to understand, it's absolutely crazy helpful, right? So therefore start with bookkeeping. You can find a job at a small shop, at a small office. These will not pay you crazy money, but it will still help you understand how the accounting works, which results into you understanding how the financial reporting works. And from the reporting, you get into the more senior roles. It could be controller, it could be finance director, etc., etc., right? So that's another job, which is your accounting reporting, right? The third role that comes to my mind as an ACCA that you can quite easily get into is taxation, right? Now straight away people will start asking me, taxation, but we don't do Indian taxation. Yes, we don't do Indian taxation, but who's to stop you to actually apply for a job for an Indian taxation? You have understood the concept of taxes, right? So if you have done UK taxes, because I think majority of us in India at least do the UK taxes, because it is so close to our Indian tax system. So why not apply the same concept? So if I were discussing GST query with one of my accounts managers, of course my concept comes from the VAT that I've studied in the UK, right? Similarly, if I am discussing with someone about taxation, about corporate taxation, about capital gains, the concepts come from the same thing, right? So don't try to straight away stop yourself from the opportunities which are there, because you will unnecessarily create yourself mental blockages. Oh, this is not what I can do. Like a lot of people came to me, and I'm sure in this video as well, a lot of people come in the comment section and say, oh sir, how do you get stat jobs? Because we've never gotten any stat audit jobs. People don't entertain us. Believe you me, right? Today is the 20th of Jan as we speak. Only last week, there were 7 people who were placed from Financial Planning Academy at Ernst & Young in their stat audit in Mumbai office, with beautiful salaries for people who are underqualified. When I say underqualified, part qualified, right? They've not cleared. Some people have only cleared 5 papers, 6 papers, 9 papers, right? So stat audits is also available. Like I was part of stat audits 2008, right? So it is about you. You prepare yourself for the job, you go for the interview. I don't see why you should have a challenge there, right? Or reach out to me, right? You can always find me on LinkedIn, right? I'll be more than happy to help you. But nevertheless, coming back to the purpose of this video is that you can go into taxation. I have in past placed people in international taxation as well, where your concept, your understanding of how these various taxes work will help you, right? And at the end of the day, trust me guys, no qualification prepares you for a job that you go and you plug and play. For any job you go, you'll have to learn, you'll have to understand how A, B, C, D things are done. So you cannot straight away go and now I know everything, I studied everything in ACCA, now give me my laptop and I'm off to and do an audit. No, you'll have to study first. You'll have to see how the standard procedures work, what are the governance styles, what are the requirements, right? So, don't think that you've studied everything and you will be able to go and plug and play, right? So in taxation as well, as long as your logic is correct, which tax is to be applied where, you will be absolutely fine, right? So go for taxation. Start with maybe a lower level job where you're just doing tax returns, maybe tax audits, right? But audit will become audit, so I'll stick to tax returns. Try and do that, and maybe over a period of time you can switch over to more complex tax handling, because there are practices that specialize, right? One of my very, very good friends, he runs an international taxation practice, right? And I know the kind of work he does is absolutely mind-boggling, right? He constantly updates, things on LinkedIn, and I see, and they are so, they are thrilling because, these are real cases that are there. And if you become a tax expert, you will be part of, this frenzy as well. So taxation, right? The fourth job that you can do as an ACCA, right? Or for that matter, as a qualified accountant, is your cost management, right? Again, costing is part of your syllabus. Now, a lot of people don't actually understand what cost people really do, because see, look, we are in an environment where it is not about, the standard costing. You are creating a cost card and you are doing material per kilo and this per kilo. The systems are so much more improvised today that a lot of things are done, automatically. But here in these kind of roles, khas karke, especially in the cost accounting, role where you are, say, a management accountant, you are typically involved in budgeting, forecasting. So the roles are like, financial planning and analysis. And believe you me, do a Google, do a search on LinkedIn, do a search on Naukri, and you see there are so many opportunities there. Now, people just sometimes don't know where their skill set is. Your skill set, if you say that you are a management accountant and you understand costing and you understand budgeting and you understand, what are these different types of costs that we need to consider when we are making our pricing decisions, etc., right? You can really do well in these job profiles, right? So look for a management accounting role, look for a budgeting forecasting role, look for a financial planning and analysis role. You will be able to justify your skill set in these type of job roles, right? So again, something which is there, it is just that because no one has really told you that you can go for these roles as well. Something, if you are an ACCA or a CA, go straight away to an audit role. That is not the answer, guys. The world is moving towards unconventional roles. What is stopping you, right? Make sure if you are not someone who enjoys audits, don't go for audits straight away. There are multiple opportunities, multiple roles that are there. Like the last one. Now, unfortunately, I do not know awful lot about the various roles that are available because I've been largely from the accounting, reporting, maybe management accounting, hardcore finance. I've not been a person. But yes, I can tell you that because you've learned the financial management as well, and there is a very thin line between management accounting and, financial management, right? Or financial, when I take, finance roles, right? Because you will see a lot of times this budgeting forecasting will also fall in the finance role, right? So I would like to say that I've done a finance role, but there are also obviously clear-cut roles which are there exclusively for people who the expertise in finance. Let's say people who who've done, say, a CFA or who've done AFM, right? People who have done advanced level of financial management. Now your niche is finance, right? So you can always look at profiles which require you in risk management. Let's say hedging, forecasting. Let's say, if you want to do a due diligence and whether you want to get into the valuation. So things like, say you want to join Goldman Sachs, right, or a UBS bank where I've worked before, right? Of course, I was part of the financial controlling, right? So I was a controller there, but of course there were people out there who would be, experts in the finance as well. So maybe, you can pick up a role in these domains as well. There is pricing, there is valuation, there is due diligence, there is risk management, right? So all these roles are also there where an ACCA or a qualified accountant can apply. Now, I would like to just add here, I've constantly said ACCA because of course my focus is that the ACCAs do know that there are these opportunities available as well. However, if you are a qualified accountant, you're a chartered accountant, you are a CPA, you are a CMA, right? You are a CFA for that matter, right? You should be able to apply for a lot of these roles, right? What we've spoken about. So to sum it up, right? You can, if you want to apply, there are loads of opportunities available. It is how you prep yourself. You can't just send in a same resume for 10 different types of job opportunities. You need to make sure if you are sending a resume today, if it's an audit role, specify how your profile is best suited for an audit. Do you have core competencies that tell you that you can be a good auditor? Similarly, if you are saying that I want to apply for a taxation role, how will you, showcase the person who is selecting you basis your resume that yes, I will be the best in the taxation role as well. So customize your resume, guys. Because the problem today is that we want to just copy paste and apply as many jobs as possible. At the end of the day, you say, oh, I applied 100 places and I've not had a single response. Of course, no one will reply to you, right? So therefore, make sure that you customize your resume basis the requirement. And once you have customized it, maybe send in a covering letter to say why they should, take you on board and prepare for your interview. Prepare for your interview and then go for a job. Hopefully, depending on your feedback and depending on what you would like to do, I would like to maybe do a certain number of videos on how to prepare for an interview. Hopefully, some other day. But for now, all the best to you guys. I really hope that you find good jobs and opportunities while doing ACCA, post ACCA, or any other qualifications you've done. Please, if you've liked the video, please make sure that you share it with your friends and family if you think that they can find some value from it. And please do post your comments if you want other things to be covered through these videos. I have decided this year that I will be doing a lot more videos and giving back as much as possible. And so yes, do make sure that you do share it with your friends. Do like the video if you liked the video. And lastly, if you're not done already, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.